There is a specific moment in every investor's life that changes absolutely everything. It does not happen on a specific date, there is no alert on your phone, and you will not get a notification from your brokerage account. But once you see it, you can never unsee it. It is the exact moment your money starts working harder than you do. Most people think building wealth is a perfectly straight line. You save a little, you invest a little, and it grows slowly over time. But that is not how it actually works. Wealth does not grow in a straight line, it grows in a curve. Right now, the median household income in the United States is about $83,700 a year. The median net worth for Americans under the age of 35 is roughly $39,000. Furthermore, the personal savings rate has dropped to around 4%. Because of this, for most people, nearly every single dollar of their net worth growth comes directly from one source: their paycheck. Their investments are not doing much yet, and it feels like a slow, exhausting crawl. But that is only because they have not reached the critical moments of acceleration. Along your financial journey, there are 3 specific tipping points where your net worth goes from crawling to walking to flat-out sprinting. If you want to understand the exact math of how to escape the daily grind and let your money do the heavy lifting, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. Let us break down the 3 tipping points so you can find out exactly where you are on the wealth curve. Section 1. Tipping point. Number 1. The first massive shift happens when your investment returns officially exceed your annual contributions. This is the moment your portfolio stops acting like a savings account and starts pulling more weight than you do. It happens a lot sooner than most people realize. Here is how the exact math works. If you are saving $10,000 a year and your portfolio returns an average of 10%, which is roughly the long-term average of the S&P 500 index, something magical happens when your portfolio hits $100,000. A 10% gain on $100,000 is exactly $10,000. That means the market just gave you the exact same amount of money you worked all year long to put in. Charlie Munger, the legendary investment partner of Warren Buffett, famously said that the first $100,000 is the hardest, but from there it snowballs and you can finally ease off the gas. He was not exaggerating at all. Going from $0 to $100,000 takes the average investor roughly 7 to 10 years of grinding. But going from $100,000 to $200,000 shrinks down to about 5 years, and going from $200,000 to $400,000 happens even faster. This is the compound effect in real life. Once your returns start matching what you contribute, every new dollar you invest gets heavily amplified, and your curve finally begins to bend upward. Section 2. Surviving the danger zone. However, there is a massive psychological trap hiding right around this first tipping point. Understanding this trap is the difference between achieving true wealth and starting over from zero. Here is what trips people up. The stock market does not go up every single year. In fact, about 1 out of every 3 years, the market posts a negative return. When you finally have a decent amount of money invested, a bad year can feel incredibly painful. It can feel like you are actively sliding backward and losing the progress you worked so hard to build. This is the exact moment where most people make their absolute biggest financial mistake. They look at the red numbers in their account, they panic, they sell their investments, and they stop contributing completely. They reset their entire wealth curve to 0 right before the real acceleration hits. The danger zone is all about your emotions. The market is testing your patience. The people who push through those painful, negative years without touching their money are the only ones who reach the next massive level of wealth. Section 3. Tipping point number 2. The next major milestone is tipping point number 2. The moment when your investment returns match your actual salary. This is the moment that changes your psychology around money forever. When your portfolio generates the exact same amount of growth in a single year as you earn from working full-time, a switch flips in your brain. You stop asking how you can earn more at your job, and you start asking why you are still trading all of your precious time for money. Let us look at the median household income again, which is $83,700 a year. If your portfolio averages a 10% return, you hit this specific tipping point when your investments reach roughly $837,000. At that exact level, a 10% return hands you $83,700 in pure growth. You still have not touched a single dime of the principal, and you are still working, but your portfolio just duplicated your entire year's income. Now consider what happens in a really great year. The S&P 500 returned over 26% in 2023 and over 25% in 2024. If you had a portfolio of just $400,000 at the start of 2023, by the end of 2024, your investments alone would have generated more financial growth than most Americans earn in 2 full years of hard work. You did not work any overtime, and you did not beg your boss for a raise. Your money simply outran your salary. The gap between what you earn at work and what your portfolio earns starts to widen incredibly fast. At $500,000, a 10% return hands you $50,000. At $1 million, that same 10% gives you $100,000. At $2 million, it gives you $200,000, all without you contributing a single new dollar. Section 4. Tipping point number 3. The final destination on the wealth curve is tipping point number 3, absolute financial independence. This is the point where your portfolio can comfortably cover all of your living expenses indefinitely. You never have to work another day in your life unless you choose to. The machine you built, the portfolio you consistently fed for years, is now big enough and powerful enough to sustain your life entirely on its own. The standard mathematical benchmark for this is the 4% rule. You simply take your annual living expenses and multiply that number by 25 to find your ultimate financial independence target. If you spend $60,000 a year, your target is $1,500,000. If you spend $80,000 a year, your number is $2 million. And if you want to spend $100,000 a year, you are looking at a target of $2,500,000. That might sound like an impossible amount of money right now. But here is the part nobody talks about. Most of the distance between where you are today and that final massive number gets covered automatically by the momentum from tipping points 1 and 2. Once your returns outpace your contributions and match your salary, compounding literally does the rest of the heavy lifting for you. The median net worth for Americans between the ages of 55 and 64 is about $364,500, but the average for that exact same age group is over $1,500,000. That massive gap proves that people who hit these tipping points early do not just get a little bit ahead, they get exponentially ahead of everyone else. Where are you on the curve? The math does not care if you are starting with $1,000 or $100,000. The math only cares about your consistency, your time, and whether you stay in the game through the bad years. Every dollar you invest today is a seed. At first, you will not see much, and the returns will feel completely insignificant, but you are building the base of that exponential curve. So, I want you to take a quick mathematical test to see exactly where you stand today. Look at your total portfolio value and figure out your annual contribution. Now, divide your total portfolio value by your annual contribution amount. If the result is under 10, you are still in the grind phase. Keep going and do not give up. If the result is between 10 and 25, you are officially in the acceleration zone. Your money is starting to sprint. And if the result is over 25, you are rapidly approaching total financial independence. The tipping points are absolutely real, and the math is entirely on your side. If you are ready to stay in the game, let compounding do the heavy lifting, and finally build real wealth, hit that subscribe button right now and join our community.